talk about red states and red districts and red Senate seats turning blue, look no further than Iowa. Yes, Iowa. Remember, Iowa shocked the nation, although nothing should be shocking anymore when it comes to stats like this. Remember back in January 28th of 2025, I know that feels like years ago, but it wasn't all that long ago, where you had a Democrat, Mike Zimmer, flipped an Iowa State Senate seat blue in the first special election of the Trump era. That was an area that Trump won by 21 points in November. And ever since then, we've been seeing all of these races across the country, and they're reported as a shock. Democrat overperformance, 15 points here. Democrat overperformance, 30 points here. Democrat overperformance here. I think we're seeing a trend because when it comes to Trump's disastrous budget bill, when it comes to what's taking place in the economy, when it comes to what's affecting whether it's cities, whether it comes to America's heartland, how Donald Trump is harming farmers, when we see Donald Trump ripping apart our government and focusing on building himself 90,000 square foot golden ballrooms while covering up the Epstein files and coddling Vladimir Putin in Alaska, which Donald Trump keeps referring to Alaska as Russia. We see weakness. We see a loser in Donald Trump. And I think the voters are pissed off and fed up. Let's talk about Iowa, though, because I think we're going to see, and everyone's going to say, oh, it's such a shock when it happens, but that seat that's held by Joni Ernst, yes, Joni Ernst, who basically said, why do you care about any government programs? Why do you care? Why do you care about living? You're all going to die anyway. Remember, she actually said that, then did another video at a cemetery, and she was like, whatever, you're all going to die. I'm not making apologies here. Who cares about health care when we're all going to die? That seat is one that Democrats can pick up and need to pick up. But what's the path to do that? I mean, I think you need to have a Democrat who showed that they could win in red states or in red areas before. So today, a big announcement from a member of Iowa's House of Representatives, the reddest area that's held by a Democrat right now. His name is Josh Turek. Paralympian, has an incredible story, and he's announced, look, he said, I've done it before. No one said it was possible that I could win in the reddest area held by a Democrat, the Council Bluffs area in Iowa. He said, let's do it. Let me show you this video. Incredible story. Then we're going to bring him in. Let's play the clip.
I was born an underdog. 21 surgeries by the age of 12. Spina bifida, caused by my dad's exposure to Agent Orange in Vietnam. A kid wearing Goodwill hand-me-downs with the wrong color lunch ticket. I knew nothing would come easy, but I never doubted my right to the American dream. Sitting in my wheelchair, 9 years old, watching the Olympics, I dreamed of winning gold for my country too. In 2016, I did just that.
Guess who on the left side? Josh Turek.
Council Bluffs, Iowa native.
And then I did it again.
Back-to-back gold medals.
It wouldn't have been possible without the grit that made me shoot 1,000 shots every day. And I wouldn't have gotten that far without VA health coverage from my dad's service, free summer lunch programs when my parents were struggling, and the local AEA that made sure that I had access to a good education. When I was a kid, there was a senator from Iowa that made sure that the doors were open for kids like me. Now the senator from Iowa is just closing doors, taking away healthcare, making it harder for parents to feed their kids. All just to give tax breaks to billionaires. In her explanation,
well, we all are going to die.
Well, I'm tired of Iowans being taken for granted. I wasn't supposed to be able to win a state house seat that Trump won twice. But I campaigned just like I played basketball, outworking everyone, pushing the hills, crawling the stairs, all just to have a conversation with everyday Iowans. Did not matter the party. We won that first race by just 6 votes. We won the next one by 5 points, in the reddest seat in Iowa held by a Democrat. Iowans deserve a senator who works for them again. So I'm running for U.S. Senate. A whole lot of folks are going to look at a guy like me and say, man, that is a real long shot. Well, in Iowa, we love an underdog. So if you are ready to push for change, join me.
Let's bring in Iowa State Representative Josh Turek. Josh, long shot, underdog. Tell us about it. You announced you're running today.
Yeah, hello, my friend, and thank you for having me. I love seeing that video. It's even inspiring me. I'm Iowa State Representative Josh Turek. As the video said, born with spina bifida, 21 surgeries by the age of 12, gone on to play in 4 Paralympic Games, won 2 gold medals representing my country, been the director of a nonprofit organization where we provide free summer camps to disabled kids, and ran originally for my race because of what privatized Medicaid was doing in Iowa to the disabled population, and representing the reddest part of the state that any Democrat has been able to win in.
Well, Josh, tell us first about how you won in that area, because it does provide, pun intended, a blueprint for what you can do nationwide. So how'd you win that House seat originally when no one said that was possible?
I love that. It is the blueprint. And the blueprint is hard work, grit, determination. I went out every single day from June all the way until November, crawling those stairs, knocking doors, dragging my wheelchair up, having face-to-face conversations with, it did not matter the party, with Republicans, with independents, with Democrats. I was out there as a common sense prairie populist is what I would call myself, of going out there and talking about the kitchen table issues. And I would always hear 2 things when I would get up on people's doors. The very first thing they would say is, "How in the world did you get up here?" And I would say, I crawled up here. I drug my wheelchair up here. That's how important it is to have a conversation with you. And then I would tell them about my story and why I'm running and kitchen table issues. And by the end, they would say, I'm not going to vote for every Democrat, but I'm going to vote for you because I like the kind of Democrat that you are.
So let's talk about now this Senate seat. You're traveling around the state. What are you hearing from people? Why'd you decide to run? What are people experiencing now in Iowa?
Well, I decided to run because, I in the most patriotic sense, I love this country. The same way I was able to represent the country in the Paralympic Games and on the field of play. I love Iowa. I love Iowans. We're good people. And everywhere I'm going, a community like mine is a very working class community. 65% of people are living at or below the poverty line. And not only in my communities, in the urban areas, in the rural areas, I'm hearing over and over and over people talking about the struggle to keep food on the table, their lights on, a roof above their head. And I'm someone that knows firsthand. I went through an enormous amount of economic struggle in my life. I went through an enormous amount of healthcare struggle in my life. I know and understand and empathize with these people. And Iowa deserves to have someone that is going to go out there and fight for Iowans and fight for the middle class and fight for small businesses, fight for small family farms, opposed to what Joni Ernst is doing, where she's gutting these social safety nets that have allowed me to be successful in my life, cutting healthcare, cutting food assistance, all just to have tax breaks for billionaires. I mean, Joni has lost touch with Iowa and Iowans. She's gone out for the DC lobbyist. That's why I'm running.
As I mentioned at the outset, when you see people like Trump and, her sycophants like Ernst talking about the ballroom in Mar-a-Lago and the marble that they're going to be building there, or Donald Trump making posts about himself supposedly winning his golf tournaments in Aberdeen, where, we see him literally cheating and throwing the ball, like the caddy's throwing the ball for him where to go. But he posts these images over and over again, like what we're supposed to be like rooting for him to get richer, while you have people in a state like yours and across the country of people who are suffering. It just feels the more they do, the more this, regime continues. It just seems they're just helping the oligarchs and just screwing over the rest of the people. But is that now resonating, though, to, look, it's not a secret that you live in a red state. It's not a secret that you're the underdog in a race. Is this resonating now with Republicans in Iowa, or do people normalize the suffering that Trump's inflicting, where it's just like kind of like they do in Russia and North Korea, where it just becomes accepted that life is horrible and you get treated like crap and you deserve breadcrumbs from dear leader?
Yeah, you're right. This oligarchy, this move to a second Gilded Age is just frankly disgusting. And yes, thankfully, all around Iowa, I can feel it everywhere we go. People are waking up. People have seen the video of Joni. They'll let them eat cake. That we're all going to die to cut healthcare and food assistance to the poorest and most vulnerable. And when we're talking about that, we're talking about poor children, we're talking about the elderly, we're talking about the disabled, which is very important to me. But everywhere I go, and this is in the urban areas, in the rural areas, we are getting turnout that we have just not seen ever in my involvement in politics. And again, this isn't just in the urban areas. I just did an event out in Harlan, Iowa, which is about as red as it can possibly get. Packed house, standing room only, of lots of people saying, and there with buyer's remorse, I voted for Trump, I voted for Joni, but enough of this, enough of the naked corruption, enough of cutting social safety nets and healthcare and food assistance to the most vulnerable. We need change, and we need somebody that understands this, the plight of working class people, and is going to go out there and fight for the kitchen table issues and fight for the working class. And I'm feeling it all over the state. And I think we only need to look at Trump's first midterm out here in Iowa, where we won the first, we won the second, we won the third. Iowa, at our core, we are a common sense state, and we can win here. Joni's vulnerable. I'm the guy to do it.
Where can people find out more about your campaign? Again, an exciting announcement today. What can people find out?
Absolutely. Please go to Turek. That's my last name behind me, Turek, the number 4, which was my basketball number, TurekForIowa.com. And please join us if you want to push for change and you want to see change not only in Iowa, but across this country. Please join me.
You know what? I want to give you one more closing message for the audience as well. We got 6 million people here who subscribe. You know, I think your story is so compelling. I mean, against all odds, always the underdog your whole life. And it just seems what Trump and this regime is doing is that they're taking away the futures from future yous of the world. Like, it seems that when you talk about the 12 surgeries you had, that they look at that 20, they look at those stories, and that's who they're attacking. And so all of their attacks must be deeply personal to you as well, of like who they're going after.
It is. It is the erosion of these social safety nets that we're seeing. You know, when I'm out there and I'm talking about the kitchen table issues of a livable wage, of affordable housing, I'm going out there and I'm talking about, in a very credible way with a visible disability, with my wheelchair, of affordable and accessible healthcare. And we're going to see closures of rural hospitals because of these cuts. Everywhere that I'm going in my community, I'm seeing people that are saying, I can no longer afford my pharmaceuticals. It is immoral to be in the richest country on earth and for people to have to be deciding, do I take my pills or do I take my bills? And I would just lastly say that I am someone that knows firsthand the power and the influence that a senator from Iowa can have. For 30 years, we had Senator Tom Harkin out here in Iowa. He was the father of the American with Disabilities Act. And if it wasn't for the work that he did, again, for these social safety nets, I would have never had the economic, the educational, or the occupational opportunities to succeed in my life. This is what Joni Ernst is doing. She's pulling these social safety nets back away. But I know this firsthand. This is what I want to do. I want to follow in the footsteps of the great Tom Harkin. Iowans deserve that. They deserve a senator that's going to be out here working for the people, not for corporate interests and for billionaires.
Josh Turk, big announcement, running for Senate. We appreciate you. Come back on as well.
Thank you.
Keep us updated on everything that's happening.
Push for change in Iowa.
Let's do it. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.